Hello, hello, hello. Story time, story time. All right, how y'all doing? I pray that everybody is well. You had a good situation going into this new year. Child, let me tell y'all first of all before I get to the story. First thing we see New Year's morning on the news is that some man has plowed down a bunch of people, which is a sad situation. I don't know what happened to this man's mind. But anyway, so that's the first thing we see on the television. And our child, one of our children, that's where her and her friends are in New Orleans, celebrating the New Year. Right? So they in New Orleans celebrating the New Year. And my husband is putting the plates on the table. And he's got this blank stare. And he tells me to call Daisy. So I call her. I didn't even turn around to see what he was looking at. So I called her, and she is safe and sound. Praise God that she is safe and sound. She didn't even know what had gone on. But the crazy thing is, she said, "Mom, we were just there an hour before all of that happened." When she called me back, she said, "We were just there an hour before all that happened." She said, "Matter of fact, we were there as long as we were because one of the girls was waiting on a fish po' boy sandwich to be prepared, which took almost an hour. I think she said it was like 45 minutes. And my daughter, being outspoken like me, she asked the lady, 'Hey, we've been waiting almost an hour for her fish po' boy.' And the lady says to her, 'Ma'am, I'm waiting on her fries.' She said she didn't ask for any fries. So that speeded up the progress a little bit. She got her sandwich and she went on about her business. They all went back to their Airbnb. So they had been down there since the 30th. You know, took a little train trip and everything. And matter of fact, I'm on my way to go see my baby to get her from the train station. Anyway, so story time. This story is about my adventures at DYS Chalkville, which is affectionately, the more I get older, the less I can talk. Affectionately known as Kitty Prison is what the kids would call it, right? So I worked with the girls at this particular time. When I first started working there, I worked with the girls in Alabama. And they, for whatever reason, they call everything cottages. I worked in Alabama cottage. And they were cottages, basically. They were, looked like limestone. And this particular cottage, they didn't have roommates. They all had their individual cells. That's what you call them. We call them rooms to kind of lighten this situation, but that's what they were, cells, because they had doors that were made out of steel. And not only that, they locked. Okay, so this is me there. I don't know how long I had been there. I hadn't been there very long. But you know, before you go into these situations, like I said, I worked with the state for a while, different situations. But before you go into these situations, they train you. My lips are dry. But anyway, a bunch of these girls were, really, I think a lot of them just got caught up in situations. A lot of times people don't realize it, but your children, because of the kind of environment that they're in, they do a thing that's called survival of the fittest. So in order for them to survive and make it, they acclimate themselves to the environment bad kid, or anything like that, because they're trying to survive, just like a gang type situation, because they're trying to survive and not stick out like a sore thumb. They get involved with a whole bunch of situations. But anyway, matter of fact, I got a few stories, but I got 2 stories to tell. This one story is about this young lady. She was 15 years old. This was a Caucasian girl, and I forgot where she was from. Anyway, she presented herself to be really nice. All the girls got along with her, and she really didn't hang out with the other Caucasian girls. She hung out with the black girls, and she could dance. I mean, whatever dances were out at this time, because this is like 96. And so she was always nice and polite and everything. And one of the staff that I was working with told me, she said, you need to read them files. And she said, yeah. She said, especially that one right there. You need to read her file. I said, what? What's going on? She said, for real. That one right there, you need to read her file. So when given the opportunity, when they were either at school or after lights out, I would read the history. So come to find out, reading this young lady's file, she's 15. She is in DYS for killing her mother. And so I'm like, what? This girl, this little petite thing, which is she's probably about 5 feet, maybe 5'2" at the most, 100 and maybe 15 pounds at the most, soaking wet. This child killed her mother. So, like staff was telling me, it was in my best interest to read the files for all those kids, right? So, after reading the file, we had an opportunity to kind of be not by ourselves, but we had a moment where I could talk to her. She had came to the desk, because most of the time the desk was in front of the hallway that had all the different cells. So you can look down, you can see who's coming out, who's trying to sneak in somebody else's area, all those type of situations. And if they go to the bathroom, because it was prison mentality. They would go to the bathroom, and it'll be a situation where somebody is already in there, so they could do whatever they did, right? So I was sitting at the desk. This was like the rest of the kids were in the activity room, and for whatever reason, she came and sat next to me at the desk while I was watching the kids, the hall, and doing paperwork, when people needed to go to the bathroom and stuff like that. So I asked her, I said, I read your file. And, she came to me with this, big smile. Like I said, she was always very friendly towards me. I think to most staff she was. I didn't see any difference in how she treated me and nobody else. I said, I read your file, and her face kind of changed. I said, you actually killed your mother? She said, yes, ma'am. I said, why? I asked her why. And this child said out of her mouth, my mom tried to make me do something she had never done before. I said, what was that? She said, she was trying to tell me what to do. Come to find out, this kid had 15 years old, not even old enough to have a license, had a Mustang. She had a Mustang. She could do whatever she wanted to do. Her boyfriend was like, whatever gang it was, he was the head of the gang or whatever. And what I found out, was, in order to move up in rank, you had to do some kind of scandalous stuff. You either had to kill somebody old, kill a child, or kill somebody in your family. And so she chose to kill her mother. This boy that she was in love with he was black. I noticed that some of the letters and stuff, and I was trying to understand some of the language, and it's a whole language, which tells me that these kids are very smart. Even though they don't want to be in school, they are very smart, because it take a whole lot for you to not only be able to write a different language, speak a different language, but to write a different language. And so we were having to learn all this stuff in training. And so I had the forethought to ask about some of these things, because some of these things, of course, everything not going to be in training. So I started asking about some of this stuff, and it's like, trash that letter. That letter can't go through. And she know better and all this kind of thing. But this was before I found out that she had killed her mother. The way the story goes is that her mother had an issue with the young man. I don't know if it was, more than likely it was because he was in a gang. I don't know if it even had anything to do with his ethnicity, but it more than likely had something to do with the fact that he was in a gang. And her mother was telling her that she didn't want her with him, I guess. But anyway, whatever the situation was, this child, I don't know where she got the gun from. It didn't specify where she got the gun from. And her mother was sitting in a high-back chair, from what I understood after talking to her about the situation. But because, of course, all the details is not going to be in the file. So talking to her, she said her mother was in a high-back chair. She was getting ready to go to school. She had her back toward her. She came up behind her. I'll say that. I don't know if that she had her. Whichever way it was, you understand. I'm trying to lay it out so you can understand. She said she came behind her and she shot her. She went to school, told her best friend to put the gun in her locker. This is how she got caught, because her best friend found out that she had actually killed her mother. You know, kids that talk a whole lot of stuff, and a whole lot of stuff they won't go through with back then. I don't know about these children now. I can't speak on it. I'm just talking about the kids that I had come across back in the day when I was dealing with, working with kids, teenagers. And that's the majority of who I worked with back in the day. So this young lady, she was shook. So when the people, the authorities came and they was looking for the gun and everything, because the thing is, if you the only child, I believe she was the only child, and the mama dead and the child gone to school. I mean, like nothing happened. Like nothing happened. And so the friend told. And matter of fact, I believe the boyfriend was shook because of some of the letters that she had written. She had sent a letter out. Now this is what I'm told, because I didn't send a letter out. This is what I'm told, that she had sent a letter out about she said when she get out, she want her rank. So she didn't care nothing about killing her mother. She wanted her position in the game, right? So not only that, I question. I'm like, well, why is she here and not in charged as an adult? Come to find out, wherever she's from, before she was charged as an adult, had released her name, put it in the paper, and everything. I've been looking for it on the internet. I believe because her being a minor and them releasing her name to the press before she was officially charged as an adult, but she ended up not being charged as an adult. And I wonder if it had anything to do with the hue of her skin, right? But anyway, so I really believe that her family sued. I believe they sued the newspaper that ran the article about that whole thing with her name in it. And yeah, confidentiality. I wish I could tell y'all. I don't remember what county it was, but it's Alabama. Don't remember what county. Anyway, so like I said, her wanting her rank and everything. That boy, he didn't answer no calls. Whatever letter she sent that actually went through, he never responded to it. I believe, like I said, I believe he was shook. Because it's one thing to kill somebody that you don't know, but kill your own mother. To kill your own mother. So that meant that she was harder than any of them, right? But this kid looked innocent, little brown-haired girl with big eyes and long eyelashes, looked like a little innocent kid, right? So, but this little innocent looking kid killed her mother. I remember, I didn't go, but one of the staff that went with them to the Scared Straight program down there in Wetumpka at Julia Tutwiler, the women were asking the girls why were they in Kitty prison, and they asked her. She went and they asked her, and she told them what she had done. Those women wanted to get at her. They wanted to get at her, and it wasn't no fake trying to scare somebody. Each and every last one, because they do the bad cop type situation, even though it's a prison situation. Even the POs and everybody that was down there that heard about it wanted to get at her. And of all things, I remember, of all things, and I don't know if she made it or not, if she is or not, but of all things, this girl said that she wanted to be a paramedic. She was glad that she had the chance, a second chance to get back out into the world, because I don't know, I think they kept them till they were 18, more than likely. I don't know if she actually did any time in regular prison, but she said, because more than likely, that's her record got, because she was a teenager, her record got wiped clean. They would not open that up unless she did something else. They would not open up her record unless she did something